CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The Ravens and the Bengals coming up here on CBS. Jim Nance along with Phil Simms on the call. And mentally, how do you see the Ravens approaching this game today?
Well, I'll say this, talking to John Harbaugh last night, he knows it's an emotional place here in Cincinnati. It's an explosive football team. Weather the storm early. He says if we do that, we have a great chance of winning here today.
The Ravens have deferred after winning the toss. So Tucker will tee it up and send it down to Brandon Tate. Brandon Tate with 2 career kickoff returns at New England and 1 with Cincinnati, as well as a punt return for a touchdown. So he's dangerous. Tucker and the Ravens know it. They're excellent on special teams. Baltimore midway in the end zone. Tate is met at the 19 by Jeremy Miles. Here comes Andy Dalton on quite a roll now here late in the season. His last 3 games, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. The offensive front, Collins will be protecting that left side now in his 6th year out of Kansas. And A.J. Green, 4 catches today. He will break Anquan Bolden's mark for the most catches the first 3 years in the league. Actually going to come out spread with 4 receivers. And Dalton goes down the field, one-on-one coverage, and it is intercepted by Corey Graham. Corey Graham is able to get control of it and takes it all the way back to the 21. They were trying to find Marvin Jones. It was a battle for the football, and Graham won it.
The football is overthrown, top of the screen. John Harbaugh talked about it. Weather the storm early. And can we win some of the battles? Contested throws. That time that's a contested catch. And what a position by Graham. And he really just takes it away from Marvin Jones. They need breaks. They got one here early.
What a start. Dalton had the longest active streak in the league. Most consecutive passes without a pick. It ends at 132. First play of the game, a takeaway by the Ravens, who come out with 3 receivers. Rice, the running back. Flacco from the gun gives it to Rice, who was only able to squeeze out a yard to the 20. Pecco on the tackle. Flacco, the first NFL starting quarterback to make the playoffs his first 5 seasons, hoping to find a way today to extend it to 6. Yanda, the Pro Bowler at right guard. And Torrey Smith, over 1,100 yards on the season. 2nd and 9 for the Ravens. Play action, and Flacco, mobile, able to get away from the pressure, throws on the run, and the ball is, I thought it hit the ground, but looks like on the field. They're going to rule it a catch by Marlon Brown.
It looked like, and you're giving it away. The Ravens look at him saying, hurry up.
They know it.
That tells you Marvin Lewis has got to throw that flag out there right now and take a chance.
You saw Torrey Smith saying, come on, frantically, let's get it to the line of scrimmage. Try to get that in the books as an official play and catch, but now the challenge flag is out. Scott Green will be reviewing it.
Cincinnati is challenging the previous play.
You're right, Phil. They did give it away, didn't they?
They gave it away. So Marvin Lewis, he's trusting the Raven players. How about that?
This won't take long for Scott
After
Green.
reviewing the play, the pass is incomplete. The ball hit the ground prior to the receiver gaining possession. It'll be 3rd and 9 on the 20-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 13 minutes and 58 seconds.
You see Torrey Smith to the right. He had really a front row seat, and he was the one who was signaling, hey, come on, hurry up to the line, guys.
He gave it away, and that's what Marvin Lewis, that's why he threw the flag. there was not going to be time for a replay for the coaches on the Bengals to look at it. So, you know, as I say, Jim, don't trust your players, trust the other team. What Marvin Lewis did, and they got rewarded. That was could turn out to be a big play.
3rd and 9 now for Baltimore from the 20. And Flacco's going to the end zone, and it's knocked away, incomplete, trying to find Jacoby Jones. And George Iloka batted it away.
George Iloka could be the guy that made this pass go incomplete, because out of the corner of his eye, Jacoby Jones saw a safety flying over there. What a good reaction by Iloka. He watched the quarterback and got there.
4th and 9 will bring out Tucker, Pro Bowl kicker, from 38 yards. The wind, well, it's a little bit of a crosswind at the moment. We see our CBS wind tracker. 35 of 38 on the year, and Tucker is good. So they cash in with 3 off the pick. Just a minute and 12 seconds into the game, and Baltimore puts up 3. So we've seen an interception. We've seen a challenge won by Cincinnati. And now we'll see Tucker kicking off for the 2nd time. With the Ravens putting up a field goal. And Tate this time will not be running it back. Dalton is 1-4 in his career against the Ravens. He threw 3 picks in the matchup November the 11th at Baltimore. A couple of touchdowns, but was picked off 3 times, twice by Ihedibo. And today, the first snap of the game is an INT, giving him for his career 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions against that Baltimore defense.
Yeah, Jim, I said it was an overthrow. What I meant to say, it was an underthrow by Andy Dalton. Threw it up there too softly on an interception. Didn't get the football down the field enough.
Comes out with 6 linemen. Dennis Rowland the 6th as he completes it over to A.J. Green. And he's got a gain of about 7. Here's that Ravens defense ranked number 9 in the league. Actually first in the league in forcing 3 and outs. Nata makes the Pro Bowl again. So does Suggs. And Ihedibo with the 2 picks of Dalton. Well, Webb got the other one in that matchup back in November. 2nd and 3. And Green Ellis, with Nata riding with him, carries it across for a 1st down. We've got an update. We go back to JB in New York.
The Steelers' first possession.
Yeah, the biggest long shot of all today. Thank you, JB. Needing losses by Miami, Baltimore, and San Diego, as well as their own win. 1st down picked up by the Bengals. First time the chains have been moved in this game, and a timeout called by Dalton. With just 1 second on the play clock.
It's hard, this defense of the Ravens. They do show a lot to the quarterback. And Andy Dalton many times has 2 plays when he goes to the line of scrimmage. They're both wordy. He has to figure it out. And that time couldn't figure it out quick enough.
Well, this team here at the Jungle, as they know it, 7-0 on the year. But the last 4 games, over 40 points every time. They average on the season 15 more a game at home than they do on the road. And in these last 4 games, they've been helped by their defense putting up touchdowns. 5 defensive touchdowns in that 4-game home stretch.
Always when you talk about teams that get like this and they get on these hot streaks on the offensive side, that means you usually are getting some help from your defense. Turnovers, good field position, special teams touchdowns. The Bengals, they have been hot, and they're doing it all here at home.
Alex Smith is their tight end today, because I should mention both Gresham and Eifert are out, inactive with injuries. 1st and 10, setting up screen to Bernard, and trying to wiggle his way off of Darryl Smith, but unable to get away from Smith.
Really good play by Darryl Smith, and this is what you have to do against this Bengals offense. They are an excellent screen team to the wide receivers, and especially to this guy, Giovanni Bernard. I would say, Jim, you're going to see 4 or 5 screen plays at least to Bernard from the halfback position. Why? Because he can take any of them and go about 70 yards on you.
Back to the 4 receiver formation, stacking a pair on each side. on 2nd and 11. And a quick toss over to Sanzenbacher. And in traffic, he's able to negotiate a gain of about 7.
Yeah, how about that? Sanzenbacher. They talk about him here. Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, says, gosh, this guy can do everything as a wide receiver, but we have so much talent out there, we have a hard time even getting him on the active roster. Wide receiver screens, screens to the tight end, screens to the running back. Jay Gruden, this offense, your head will you'll get a headache watching everything they do on the offensive side. They're very complicated.
A 3rd and 4. And that's going to be a first down. Marvin Jones has the catch. And a blitz pickup helped make that play.
It did. Watch Bernard comes across, sees it the last second. And a good job by Andy Dalton getting rid of the football quick. Both of these teams, I can say this about the Cincinnati offense and the Ravens offense, they were absolutely awful in the first matchup. They didn't do a good job against the blitz. Their quarterbacks got hit a lot, and it caused turnovers.
Now it's going to be a delay game. They almost got caught one time. This time they do.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Fantasy football fans, keep the excitement going in the postseason with Playoff Challenge. Even bigger cash prizes. All at CBSSports.com/challenge.
Well, Andy Dalton said about the game against the Ravens weeks ago, he goes, oh my gosh, I watched the tape of it. It makes you mad to see how bad we were picking up those blitzes and reacting to them.
Bernard gets the carry. And the rookie from North Carolina. A gain of 2.
Also, when you look at, we talked about the weapons on the offensive side for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I think one of the big keys that's helped turn this team around is Andrew Whitworth, Jim, is going from left tackle to left guard. Then they put Anthony Collins outside, who's a terrific pass blocker, but Whitworth inside has made him more stable. It makes him more powerful. And when you have a good offensive line, let those skill guys show off what they can do.
2nd and 13. And Dalton is going to be picked for a second time. Ehedebo has him again. Ehedebo hurdles past one tackler, takes it to the Cincinnati side of the field, and a flag comes out back at about the 43 on a Baltimore block. So Ehedebo with his 3rd pick of the year, all of them coming at the hands of Dalton.
Well, it's just an overthrow this time, Jim. He has A.J. Green down the middle. He had a little pump fake. He's got what he wants.
After the interception, illegal block in the back, 10-yard penalty, first down Baltimore.
And when you have tall wide receivers, watch A.J. Green going down the middle. They do throw a lot of high passes, expecting receivers to jump and make that catch. But that time it was just too high, and the Ravens playing safe. Safeties are back, worried about big plays from the Bengals offense. They get the 2nd interception.
So 2 interceptions early in the game, and Kyle Cook, the center for the Bengals, hobbled to the sideline after the play. First down throw by Flacco. And he's found Bernard Scott, the former Bengal, for a gain of 7. Cincinnati's defense, you talked about it in the open, Phil. They have posted great numbers again under Mike Zimmer. Pecco, they call him the glue around here. Perfect 12 tackles coming in away from a 200 tackle season. 2nd and 2. And Scott might have been stopped about a half-yard shy of the first.
Well, a couple things. When you look at Joe Flacco, help him out today with play calls. Give him some easy throws. And also, no doubt, was not sharp last week. But the experience, Jim, of playing with that knee should help him out here today.
He said that knee brace last week had nothing to do with anything, but we were there for the New England game, and particularly early, it seemed like there was a real adjustment period.
Yeah, he said that to us, and then he limped out of the room. So,
Yeah.
Look, there's no matter what you do, he's not worse this week. with his knee, but it's still not well.
It's 3rd and a foot. Try to earn it on the ground. They get it with Pierce taking it over to the Cincinnati side and running behind Michael Orr.
Yeah, good job. This is a pretty determined team. You can see it already when you talk to or watch the Ravens, and they need Bernard Pierce. He read it right that time. He got through the first tackle. He broke it and got some extra yards. These running backs for the Ravens must get some extra yards after contact, make somebody miss, and get a big play.
Largo,
Flacco got a man. It looks like he has another first. Torrey Smith. They have spotted it just shy. 71 wins since 08. That's regular and post, and that's the best. Of course, Brady and Manning during that span, and on that first 5, both missed a season of football.
Yeah, he's been consistent. We've talked about it so many times, haven't we? Extremely underrated. Tough situation for him this year with this offense. Skill-wise, they're just not as good as last year, and it hurts the quarterback.
They did get the first down to Smith, and now they run it with Pierce. And it's no gain. We've got another update coming out of our studios in New York. JP, take it away.
Carolina clinches the South with the win, but
And the Falcons aren't cooperating. 9 yards. Matt Ryan, Jason Snelling absorbed the big hit. 7-0 Falcons on top of the Panthers.
basketball yesterday, football today. Jim Nance and Phil Sims.
Well, thank you, JP. A little double dip. Saw a couple of teams we might be seeing down in Dallas at the Final Four. Kentucky and Louisville. In 3 months' time. 2nd and 9 here as the Ravens try to take advantage of a second takeaway in the early action. As Flacco. That flag does come out. Pitta was saying he was being held by Perfect.
Holding, defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Scott Green, such a good official. He came into our trucks to visit with Lance Barrow and Mike Arnold and our crew, and told us that this is going to be it for him. He's retiring at the end of today after spending time as an NFL official since '91. And Larry Rose, the side judge today, also retiring after spending 17 seasons as an NFL official. Great service to the league by those two gentlemen. And they really missed. Here's a 1st and 10 carry by Bernard Scott. And he's getting some early action here with Rice and Pierce usually alternating. What's the story here?
Well, there's no doubt they're unhappy with the running back situation. And, you know, the old motto is in the NFL, if they block it for 4 yards, you got to get more than 4. And I think the production from the running backs, yes, the blocking has not been great, but you got to make people miss. You got to break those tackles, and it has hurt this offense. So I'm sure that's why Scott is in there. Pretty quick running back, can make people miss. I'm sure they're hoping he gives a big play.
2nd and 8 over to Pitta. Pitta fighting for that yardage and pushed back about a yard shy. He got a block over there by Scott.
He did. Dennis.
Yes, Scott protecting his quarterback.
Well, you know, you're just saying Dennis Pitta on the catch. That's the 2nd time Joe Flacco's gone to him, and that's a great sign for this offense. They need an inside presence to throw the football to. Last year it was Pitta and Anquan Bolden. They've missed them basically the whole year. Dennis Pitta feeling better. We'll see if it changes his offense as the game goes along.
Pierce comes back behind Flacco. Dixon in at tight end, and there's Leach shifting on 3rd and 1. Pierce picked up one already on 3rd down. He's got another one. The first time on 3rd and a foot, he gained 9, and this time he carries it for 12. They'll make it 14.
Good inside blocking. They double team Pecco that time, and that's the guy you worry about in the run game for the Cincinnati defense. Gomata Pecco, hard to get him out of there, but with the double team, that's who they run behind. Rakowski and Shipley, awesome job by them.
So Pierce, big time runs and 3rd down situations on this drive, setting up a 1st and goal. Now the Ravens have struggled in the red zone here late in the season, on touchdown conversions that is. Only 5 of the last 17. But Pierce
You know, as you look at this, Jim, I know it's early, but do you see a little more determination from the running backs? Do you think somebody might have yelled at them and gave them the message, we need more from you? And they look determined running the football.
Especially Pierce.
Yes, Pierce just breaking those arm tackles. He's a big running back. He runs heavy, puts his feet in the ground, so when you hit him, he's not easily knocked off balance. Really good start by the offensive line and the running back.
Second and goal.
What is it? 60 or so.
Throw to Pierce again, and takes a couple of Bengals to bring him down. Pushing it close to the 3. Last rush touchdown by the Raven backfield, by a running back, was week 11 at Chicago. Ray Rice, we were there.
We were there. Yeah, that is. Look, for a team that's big and physical, that's really kind of hard to believe. Tells you a lot about what's been going on with the Baltimore Ravens offense.
So they've run it the last 2 plays with Pierce. Now they've got a 3rd and goal. Pitta split out to the near side. And Flacco looking middle of the field, back of the end zone, incomplete. Headed in the direction of Pitta. And that was Dre Kirkpatrick in on the coverage.
There's nobody open on this. Really good technique by Kirkpatrick. He stayed outside. He's faster than Pitta. Watch everybody coming across the field. There is nobody open. That is awesome coverage. Bengals, good job in the red zone once again.
And again, the Ravens offense in the red zone. Having a hard time pushing it across for a touchdown. They'll bring Tucker out for a 22-yard attempt. And he's good again. So 2 interceptions leading to 2 field goals. This one, the overthrow, right into the arms of Ihedibo. And Tucker puts another 3 on the board for Baltimore. 6-0 first quarter. Your favorite superstar performers honor Shirley MacLaine, Carlos Santana, Herbie Hancock, Martina Arroyo, and Billy Joel. The Kennedy Center Honors comes on tonight after 60 minutes. Only CBS.
You know, I was told that you have performed at the Kennedy Center. Is that true?
I was there for a great night with 4 former presidents honoring volunteerism in America. And I got to be one of the speakers that night.
Did you keep the speech short? That's what I want to know.
I stayed right on copy. Okay. Running it out is Tate. And pushed back at the 22 by McClellan. A little sparring afterwards. Time to let go, fellas.
Too much at stake to get a stupid penalty.
Welcome back to Cincinnati, and there is Kyle Cook, the starting center for the Bengals. He's got a foot sprain being taped up right now. Trevor Robinson takes over the center duties. He's going to come right out and have to snap it out of the gun. Give is to Green Ellis. Slides up off a couple of hits and has an 8-yard gain. A 1-2 punch here in the backfield for the Bengals. Green Ellis and Bernard. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. You said it right. It is a 1-2 punch. I love NFL teams that have 2 different style running backs. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, doesn't get the credit he deserves. Tough runner, doesn't fumble. Then you got that tremendous changeup with Giovanni Bernard, who can make those big plays in the run and pass game.
Bounce.
2nd and 2. And another carry. It's all wide open there for the taking to Green Ellis. And that's another gain of 12. And let's go back to JB and Shannon in New York with an update.
Indy is 5-0 against the South and continue.
Already up 7-0, 4th and goal. Trent Richardson powers his way into the end zone. First rushing TD by Richardson since week 4. 14-0 Colts over the Jags.
There you go. Jim Nance and Phil Sims.
Yeah, his first carry, fellas, was a touchdown. That was the one you talk about week 4. His first carry as a Colt That's San Francisco. Now, here is a first down run by Green Ellis. And he tumbles after 5. They've also made a change on that offensive front. Not only is Robinson in at center, but Mike Pollock has come into the game as well for him, Phil.
Yeah,
guard.
He's been playing some guard, switching off with Kevin Zeitler, who's had an injury he's been dealing with. Jimmy, a little foot sprain, but that time also the 2 tight ends. Your top 2 tight ends are out today. Alex Smith, number 81, nice block, allowed him to get outside and get that run.
By the way, looking at that Colts highlight, the Colts win and the Bengals lose. The Colts could move up to the 3 spot in the playoffs, dropping the Bengals to 4. As Dalton's got a man wide open, and it's a touchdown with A.J. Green. yards, and he was all alone behind the Baltimore secondary.
Yeah, it's a great job by Andy Dalton. Marvin Lewis says we are best when we attack, and I'd say that's attacking after 2 interceptions. A little move, just, oh my gosh, he gets on the safety. Anytime that happens, the safety has no chance because there's a 2-way goal with one of the best wide receivers in the league, and he leaves him behind.
Yeah, Matt Elam, the rookie first rounder. He sprinted past him. And Green has his 6th career touchdown catch that's over 50 yards. And the extra point by Nugent puts Cincinnati ahead by 1. Well, off to a horrible start, but now in front off of that one play. Well, A.J. Green has yet another touchdown on the season, his 11th. And Andy Dalton has just tied Carson Palmer's Bengals single-season touchdown mark, his 32nd. As Nugent sends it to the goal line to Jacoby Jones. And he smashed at the 23. Harbaugh said last night in the meetings, do not give up the big play, can't let him go over the top.
Look at the free release, that's a big deal. Going against the safety, but because of this route, they're not able to get over there and help him. So you try to be the defensive back, a safety. A.J. Green, one of the fastest wide receivers in the league. And that time, Matt Elam actually tried to reach out and grab him, but couldn't get it done. There's not much you can say. It was the perfect play against a defense that play was designed to go against.
Harbaugh, an old defensive back, 45 minutes away from here at the University of Miami University in Ohio, as Flacco dumps it off to Pierce. And he fights for an extra yard or 2, picks up about 6, and that will end the quarter with the Bengals leading it 7-6. And we'll return to Cincinnati after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Jim Nance, Phil Simms back here in Cincinnati as we start the second quarter. And the Ravens face a 2nd and 3. And movement.
See if the defense jumped. Wallace Gilberry, number 95, could be the guy that jumped. What a year he's having, helping out the fact that they lost Geno Atkins inside.
Michael Orr thinks it's Gilberry.
Big discussion about it.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
A.Q. Shipley. He's the culprit.
Well, he's the left guard, so that's not the reason why Wallace Gilberry jumped. Okay, I didn't see it.
I think they had the wrong number.
But I am getting old, and, you know, my eyes are not what they used to be, Jim.
We're good.
Rice remains out. It's Pearson running back on 2nd and 8. Camden Goss on the right side is the target. And he's thrown down right away by Reggie Nelson for no gain. Well, they certainly had opportunities at the start off the 2 interceptions.
They had what they wanted early. You get the turnovers. Can you capitalize? No. After the 2 turnovers, you have to say, wow, great job of the Cincinnati defense holding them to field goals. And then the explosive offense, everything goes your way, and you're down 7-6.
And it's 3rd and 8 for the Ravens. As Flacco's in trouble, unloads it in time to Pierce. And the Bengals keep him short of the first. It was Michael Johnson in the face of Flacco. Pierce's catch is good for 5 yards, and that'll bring out Cook to punt.
Yeah, it just happened so slow. There was nobody open going down the field, and Michael Johnson, 93, gets through on the inside. When you look at these outside pass rushers, Dunlap and Johnson, they're about 6'6". They can run, and they get in the way of the quarterback.
85th punt of the year coming up for Cook, 2nd most in the league. He punted 8 times in the first matchup against the Bengals. This is a good one. Sending Tate back to the 15. Still not down. Oh, and that last move cost him some yardage. Juszczyk finally finishes him off. It's a 1-yard return after all of that, and a 54-yard punt. Flacco is loosening up his right arm. Flacco was injured on that last pass play, and he's uncomfortable right now.
No doubt about it. When you watch how he falls, he lands on his elbow. The shock went right to the right shoulder.
Down Cincinnati, and Dalton looking to run with it. And does, and saves a sack and picks up 5. And here's what happened when Michael Johnson landed on him. Flacco, that is.
Yeah, he can't protect himself because they wrap him up. Oh, boy, when that right elbow hits that hard, you can feel the jolt that goes up into the shoulder joint. It could be the AC joint or the collarbone, who knows, but doesn't seem too concerned about it right now. Tells you he's okay.
Of course, Flacco sacked the 2nd most of any quarterback in the league behind Tannehill. Taking a beating here late in the year with the knee issue, and we'll see if it's an issue here with the shoulder. 1 second on the play clock, and getting it away on 2nd and 5 and throwing it away in the area of Andrew Hawkins. This new year, get a little crazy with Robin Williams and the Crazy Ones. New episode Thursday at 9/8 Central, only CBS.
Well, good job as you look at this game and talk about the Bengals. Andy Dalton, it's either quarterback of the future. Do we have the guy that can take us to the Super Bowl? And the answer to both is yes. Cincinnati fans, get used to it. Andy Dalton's going to be the quarterback here for a long time.
Ball start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I make it a 3rd and 10. The big game as far as the Ravens. What's going on with Miami, JB?
Miami has incentive. Dolphins win and a San Diego win. Back to Jim Nance.
Middle.
And that's the one here in the early going that is of most interest. Again for the Ravens. 3rd and 10 Cincinnati. Dalton has his man for the first down. It's Mohamed Sanu right in front of Webb for a gain of 12 and move the chains.
It is nice having a big wide receiver, and that's Mohamed Sanu. He's tough as they come, and he is a great complement to Marvin Jones and A.J. Green. Andy Dalton does this a lot. He throws it high because his guys can go up there and make contested catches. And we watched him at practice on Friday, and it is all out every single play. He is great for this football team.
Dalton's already hit 5 different receivers. And a new set of downs. That's Jones with his 2nd catch. He only had 1 grab in the first matchup this year with Baltimore.
Tell you, the hard thing to do if you're Jay Gruden is calling plays, try to get everybody involved, and you really want to do that. They threw a screen to Bernard. Now they've thrown the football pass to A.J. Green, Mohamed Sanu, and Marvin Jones. Now they're in the game. They feel good. They feel like they're part of the offense. And that's when an offense clicks at its best.
Dalton still has it and slides near the first down. Gave himself up after 9.
They do this too. They got everything in. Like I said, it's a headache trying to determine what they're going to do if you're a defensive player. They run this a couple times a game. Terrell Suggs doesn't even think about the running quarterback on the zone read, and Andy Dalton gets outside. Boy, TCU, he did this a lot. Did it well. Also, they run the Wildcat. They'll come in there with Sanu at quarterback and give you a little bit of that.
2nd and 1 at the 49. And over the top they go again. And boy, did Bernard have a step on that defense.
Oh, that was it. Really good play call. They spread it out, and it is a touchdown. Nice move, a little hitch and go, but he is a small running back. He is a running back, and he doesn't react to the pass down the field. Andy Dalton knows if it wasn't a touchdown, it was a big play.
Bernard can catch it. He's got 51
Sure.
receptions on the season.
What you got? It tells you about this offense, though, doesn't it? 2nd and short, they were going for the home run ball, and a unique play to do it.
3rd and less than a yard. And the Ravens defense stops him short. Bernard was the ball carrier.
Depends on which official gets the spot here. It's about a half a yard difference between the two of them.
Ihedebo came up to close it down. Dumerville was in the area. And they're going to bring out the punting unit.
How about that? That's the risk when you go for the home run on 2nd down. You know, and I agree with this decision. Do not take a chance. You've got the momentum switched. Don't give it back to the Ravens by going for it on 4th and coming up short.
Remember, they have a new punter here at the end of the year, Sean Powell, after Kevin Huber suffered that broken jaw and cracked vertebrae against Pittsburgh 2 games ago. Powell, who punted for 5 games early in the year at Buffalo, averaged 40 yards a punt last week in his Bengal debut. And he's got a beauty this time, and it's covered up by Hawkins at the 1. Absolute perfection by the punting unit of Cincinnati. 50-yard boot and downed at the 1. A little famous Cincinnati chili. Meanwhile, it's been a chilly reception out here for the Ravens, who start inside the 1. Not a good running team, so this is a tough spot. And Flacco, who we were wondering about his health, he is out there and dives ahead just to give him a little more room, maybe a yard.
I don't know. There's a quarterback that was just rubbing his arm, his right shoulder, and there's a quarterback sneak. But at least what that does, why you run the quarterback sneak there, Jim? Because if you run it on 2nd down, you can at least absorb a tackle maybe behind the line of scrimmage. And remember, you must get the football completely out of the end zone for it not to be a safety if you're tackled.
2nd and 9, and Pierce is behind him. And from the end zone, Flacco's got the time. And down the field, incomplete. Double coverage on Torrey Smith, including Adam Jones. Nelson also there.
Well, you always hear this from teams. We can't let them get deep, and these two teams know, especially when you look at the Baltimore Ravens offense. They struggle in so many areas, and on 1st and 2nd down, they are notorious for throwing the football deep down the field, looking for that big play, and the Bengals defense all over.
Just not able to get that deep ball game that they had last year to work this season, the Ravens.
They're just not making the tough catches. Big plays, not getting them, it's killing the offense.
3rd and 9, and Flacco had to get rid of it, and it's out of bounds. Carlos Dunlap took Flacco down after the throw.
Well, once again, a pass rusher coming untouched from the outside. Reggie Nelson. Oh, and Joe Flacco. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, good. Watch his left knee. Gets hit. Gets his leg caught on him a little bit. Now he's got the shoulder hurting that left knee. This is tough.
And you saw how wobbly he was when he got back on his feet. He is, again, taking his lumps. Cook has to punt from the back of the end zone. And the returner, Tate, is at the 48. Oh, and they got in on Cook. No flag back there. The ball bounces out of bounds at about the 43. Cedric Pierman was close to blocking that one. And here's Flacco again, getting walloped. Look at us. Like he was screaming there in pain. Flacco back on the bench after a short series that ended with this right here on third down.
Two things. The left knee, and look at him. He's yelling right there in pain. Yeah. This is going to be tough for Joe Flacco. He's going to have to change the way he plays now. He's going to get the football. Boy, he's grabbing his left knee too, Jim. But he's going to have to grab the football and make decisions fast and let it go and just try to live to play the next play. Really tough to do. You got to make sure your head stays clear. That might be the hardest thing of all. Mentally staying sharp.
And that's Green Ellis to about the 37. Thursday on CBS, Sherlock's greatest rival returns in the first elementary of the year. Discover the hit drama Thursday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. On the punt, some might be saying, wait a minute, was that not running into the punter there?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, I didn't think it was running into him. It was a little acting job. Tyrod Taylor warming up on the sideline, which is interesting. But also, Jim, he was only 13 yards back instead of the 15, so that changes the rules regarding the punters.
2nd and 4. And well covered up by Matt Elam this time on A.J. Green.
Beautiful play. That's how you stop these wide receiver screens. Defensive backs, especially safeties, need to react fast. And late in the year, Matt Elam, rookie from Florida, first-round pick, he is coming through for this defense. He's got a bright future. You want to be a really good defense, you need a safety back there that can make those type of plays.
4 receivers for the Bengals. 3rd down and 3. Again, it's a screen. Bernard gets hold of it and hurdles to the 20-yard line. Giovanni Bernard.
Well, they got what they wanted. Here comes the blitz. The game is great. It frees up Darryl Smith, but you always have to be alert for the screens with this offense. And they want to get the football to number 25 as many times as possible. Nice little adjustment, wasn't it? Hanging with the football. And there is a lot of shake in this guy's game. Oh, he looked down the field, saw there was no defenders there, then he concentrated on the football once again.
Picks up 15.
Yeah.
And on 1st down, pump fake, and now the throwaway by Dalton. We've got another update on the Steelers-Browns game. James Brown and Shannon Sharp in New York.
Jim and Phil.
Le'Veon Bell is second amongst all rookies in scrimmage yards behind Lacey and just barely ahead of Gio Bernard, who just gave them that first down a few plays ago. 2nd and 10. To the end zone and almost pulled in with one hand by Green.
Beautiful throw. Good anticipation. A.J. Green waits a second long to turn his head. And they tried to beat the technique. Webb outside. Oh, if he goes up with both hands, it's a touchdown.
I'm actually surprised he didn't catch it.
Yep. Going against, I think, one of the best corners in the NFL, Darius Webb. Great cover guy, aggressive, tackles. He can do it all.
3rd and 10. They're 3 out of 4 on 3rd down. Dalton again flirting with the play clock. Gets it off just in time. And a timeout was called from the sideline. There was concern again they might not beat it. The snap, that is, in time. And that's a second timeout called by the Bengals. Both times battling against the play clock. Well, the 6th seed, again, that's the story really of the AFC today. Yeah, you've got the seeding issues for all those division winners. But Baltimore needing a win here and a Miami loss. Miami up in that game right now, 7-0, but the Jets are deep. Or they need a win and a San Diego loss. Or they need losses right across the board from all the 4 teams that have a shot at it. So again, Ravens are not necessarily out with a loss, but they would need all kinds of help. And you got Pittsburgh, in one case there, already up 14 on Cleveland.
Jets down inside the 10 against the Miami Dolphins. In case you're a Ravens fan, you want to know.
On 3rd and 10, Dalton now rolling out, going to the end zone, and it's wide of the mark. It was Hawkins he was trying to find.
Yeah, it's a late blitz. Even though it's picked up, Andy Dalton does not see Whitworth make that initial move. And that's why he gets out of there. Otherwise, I think he's going to have a chance for a touchdown.
Hey, Mike Nugent finally gets to attempt the field goal. Has not even had an attempt in the last 3 games.
Why is that?
Because they're so efficient in the red zone.
Because they're one of the best. They are smoking in the red zone, no doubt.
From 39 yards, he's 16 of 20 on the year. Howell is the holder. And Nugent. It's good. From 39. Puts the Bengals up 10-6. Well, the Bengals able to withstand 2 early picks and only surrender a couple of tougher field goals, and now have scored 10 unanswered. 7-play drive that went just 22 yards before Nugent kicked it through. Bengals have just, again, mauled their opponents here at home their last 4 home games. They've also, in the second quarter, including this one, outscored their opponents 69-6 in this quarter. Jacoby Jones wants it from 8 deep. Across the 20 and shoved out by Nelson, but a flag is out. 33-yard run back. And boy, is Flacco some kind of durable. Never missed a game in his career.
During the return, holding receiving team number 36. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, he's having a rough go so far today. Even his first time he escaped the pocket, you could see that he was limping. The big hits, really not able to protect himself because those hits are coming so fast.
By the way, as he held that knee on that one hit you just saw for the second or third time, he did tell us last night he is not going to need surgery in the offseason. A lot of people have been speculating that there might be an issue with that, and he said that's not going to happen. Not going to be needed. Flag out.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty.
Bill, you mentioned the Jets were driving deep. Let's get the update. JB and Shannon.
Jim, D-line help on the O. A little slimmer than the refrigerator, right? Jim Nance and Phil Simms. Mini freeze.
About that.
Sheldon Richardson.
And that is Marlon Brown with the catch. Down there in Miami, Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf are calling that game. And for the great Dan Deerdorf, a Hall of Famer, it's his final regular season broadcast. He'll be retiring in a couple of weeks' time from the booth after a decorated career in the divisional round. Say his goodbye. 2nd and 11. And it's Pierce with the Bengals right there. Perfect. Sets him back 2 yards.
Montez Burfict, he is the leader of this defense. Number 55, watch him recognize the screen, and then he beats Gronkowski outside to get the tackle. Burfict, he is absolutely the MVP of this Bengals defense. Leadership, knows what to do, and man, when he goes to make a tackle, there's no doubt about it, he runs through the person with the football.
3rd and 13. And it's Pierce. They gave him the little underneath throw, and he is stopped well short of the first. Normally it's Rice catching the screens and the little passes underneath, but he's not seeing a whole lot of action today.
No, he's not, but there's nowhere to go that time. Really good defense. Watch them surround the short pass. Joe Flacco can't wait to throw it, but look at that. 3, circling, taking down. John Harbaugh looked up, and this is what he did not want. The crowd is involved.
3rd straight, 3 and out for the Ravens. The punt fielded by Tate. Working the sideline, and finally is tripped up at the 48. 45-yard punt and a 14-yard run back. Excellent starting position coming up for Dalton. On the Verizon halftime report.
Yeah, Coach Cowher sitting there trying to explain to them all what's really going on.
You don't think they can figure it out themselves?
He's the coach.
Oh, I see.
He's the leader. If something goes wrong, you blame him.
First down for the Bengals. As Dalton bails it out over to Alex Smith, and he fumbles, and it's recovered by Cincinnati. Just the 3rd catch of the year for Smith. As again, the top 2 tight ends are inactive today for the Bengals, Gresham and Eifert.
Really good read by Andy Dalton. Nobody open down the field, so he dumps it off. You said it. 3rd catch by Smith. Not used to handling that football in a crowd, and very fortunate for the Bengals. Whitworth there to get it.
Yeah, Whitworth alertly falls on it, and it's a 2nd and 3.
They are looking for big plays, this offense. Every time he drops back, they got guys going deep.
Quick wide receiver screen to Hawkins. And Hawkins inside the 30, and finally tackled at the 23. Marvin Jones and A.J. Green.
You think I'm overstating the case? They got some guys that can make it happen with the football. A little quick screen outside. You got Giovanni Bernard. And how about Hawkins? Fast, of course. He's small, quick in space, and it's like a punt returner. He sees where to cut. Cuts it back. Awesome move.
How about, though, the blocks by Green and Jones?
Yep, these wide receivers catch it, and they are all excellent blockers.
Picks up 22.
They got it all.
Bernard, short side, Hedibo, along with Nata. It's a 1-yard play.
Well, Jim, let's talk about this Cincinnati offense. Here we go. They do so much. They got jailbreak screens, bootleg passes, reverses, multiple formations, shift in motions. What do you do on the defensive side? Wide receivers, running backs. They got wildcat. We saw the zone read and all those passes. How was that? That was my...
I have never heard you talk at that speed before. That was a new gear.
That was for Jay Gruden. That was John explaining the offense. So, I wanted to do it. That was pretty good. Not quite fast enough, but I tried.
2nd and 9, and Bernard takes it inside the 20 to the 16. You need to catch your breath.
Yeah, it's hard to be him. Hey, but I told Jay, I said, man, this is... But when you look at this offense, that's what makes it tough. They are clicking. Jay Gruden has thrown a lot at them. They've absorbed it now over 3 years, and we're seeing a result of it after 3 years, and it is dangerous to say the least.
They are going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning, and they'll face that 3rd and 3 on the other side of this break. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Again, the Verizon halftime report is coming up with scores and highlights. Verizon halftime report. 3rd and 3. You see Suggs and Doomerville both on the sideline. First red zone trip of the day for the Bengals, who have scored on their last 12 red zone drives touchdowns. And looking for the end zone here. And did he pull it in? Yes, he did. It's Jones with the touchdown grab.
It's a big key for this football team in throwing the football. On big, deep in cuts and these seam passes. Did he get his hands under it? It looks like he does. And even the tight coverage by Webb looked like he might have even pass interfered. What a catch by Marvin Jones. We've seen that before in the end zone.
His 10th touchdown reception of the season. He did have a 4-touchdown game earlier this year, but 10 on the year. His first ever touchdown came week 17 last year against Baltimore. And now that makes it 13 straight touchdowns in the red zone for Cincy. Extra point good. And the Ravens have allowed now touchdowns on the last 10 red zone possessions by their opposition. Dalton sets the new team record with 33 touchdown passes in a season.
Well, Jim, let's look at the touchdown and see why it happens. It's a good read by Andy Dalton. The safety's in the middle. They're going to send him up inside in that seam, trying to give the offensive player just a little bit of room. They do it. A good release off the line of scrimmage and a perfect throw by Andy Dalton. Webb is all over it, but nothing you can do about throws like that in the end zone that are high.
Boy, that is quite a catch, too, by Marvin Jones. We were talking to him on Friday about his first ever touchdown in the NFL. Here it was just a year ago against Baltimore.
Well, he's having quite a year. The last 6 games last year got him in rhythm, worked on his game during the offseason. You know, it's just going to continue the good stuff. He's all excited about getting married in March. Getting married to his longtime girlfriend, Jasmine. So that's exciting, but a lot more to do for him on the field this year.
Jacoby Jones, 4th in the league this year in kick return average. He's got a 32-yard run back to factor in. Sean Williams brings him down. Dalton, by the way, not only sets the single season mark for Cincinnati with touchdown passes, bettering the 32 that had been held by Carson Palmer. He also sets the Cincinnati single season record for pass yards.
How about that?
4,170.
When you look at this Baltimore offense, what do they got to do? They got to give Joe Flacco time first and foremost, and they need drive starters, something easy for this offense.
He's got Rice in the game, and he has a diving catch. No, incomplete. Pitta.
Does that play kind of explain it all? The guys, Pitta's coming wide open. Joe Flacco misses him. And listen, I've seen a lot of games by this Raven team and Joe Flacco. He does not miss open receivers, and he's got to adjust, hang in there, settle down. And when it's there, he's got to make the throw.
Ravens have all 3 timeouts. 2nd and 10. And it's back to Pitta for the first.
You know, it makes it tough too, Jim. It's easy for me to say all this stuff, but this is one rough defense. You can move it sometimes, but they got pass rushers. They're an excellent blitz team, and you always have to be on high alert. Here's their favorite look. 2 linebackers inside.
Flacco again makes the same throw to Pitta for 8 this time. And a timeout Baltimore, leaving him with 2. Again, we've talked about the Ravens scenario. Let's talk about the AFC North Division champions into the playoffs for the first time in franchise history, a 3rd straight year. They could move up as high as number 2 and get that first week bye if New England loses to Buffalo and the Bengals win this game.
That's well said. And of course, after this game, if they do win, they'll be eagerly watching the TV screen later today.
Coming up on the back end of our doubleheader, the Bills at New England, Denver out at Oakland, trying to lock up the 1 seed. 2nd and 2. In trouble, and he's banged around again. Michael Johnson, and then later Marcus Hunt
Not much he can do there. They had both defensive tackles switch positions, and the offensive line did not adjust. They chased too far. That opened up the lane, and Flacco went down again.
And a loss of 8. 3rd and 10 with 40 seconds. They're running after him. And he throws it in the direction of Pitta. It was Dunlap this time who really broke up Flacco's intentions.
Here's what happens. Watch the linemen do this, Jim, on the previous play, and they just don't have an answer for it. Marshall Yonda chases across the formation. It might have been man blocking. That in the last play, Joe Flacco just not able to move. And it'll be interesting. I think there is a decision for the Baltimore Ravens.
Cook to Tate. The Bengals who have one timeout. Can they do something here before the half? Is Tate. Well, just when you thought they might have good field position, there is a flag out. After a 49-yard punt by Cook and an 18-yard return.
So Flacco.
During the run back, illegal block in the back, number 53, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Tuesday, CBS Sports, with its long tradition of broadcasting the Sun Bowl. It continues down in El Paso with Virginia Tech and UCLA Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on New Year's Eve day.
Well, you know, Jim, as I said this, you know, Joe Flacco in the second half, I think you let him come back out, you still be the starting quarterback. You see how it reacts. Can he move the team? But if you think it doesn't give you the best chance to win, it's not the worst. For his protection and for your team, you might have to play Tyrod Taylor somewhere here in the second half.
Well, they're down 11. And meanwhile, the Jets are threatening to go in. They've got a goal-to-go situation down in Miami with that game tied 7-7 late first half. That was part of the equation. One of the ways it would work for the Ravens to go into the postseason for a 6th straight year. Win here today and have Miami lose to the Jets. 17-6, though, the last 17 of the half, and this one belongs to Cincinnati. Green with the long touchdown catch. And later it was Jones with a beautiful grab. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. Ready for the start of the second half. The Ravens will be receiving the second half kickoff. Let's listen to some of the sounds here in Cincinnati. Football like you've never heard it, presented to you by Sonos. As far as the effort by the Ravens, and after talking to John Harbaugh last night, he was talking about climbing a mountain here. This team was going to be coming out and playing a much more inspired type of an effort than what they saw last week against New England.
I think we saw that. I thought they played inspired. They're trying. There's no doubt about it. This is a really good football team they're facing, Jim, on both sides of the ball. They overcame a horrible start, and we saw the talent they have on both sides. So the Ravens, it's a tough task. Even though they're down, the New York Jets are beating the Miami Dolphins as half, which they wanted, which I know they talked about at halftime. They got to come out here and make something early to get their team excited.
I know it's only halfway through the 1 o'clock games, but at this moment, things are breaking in the right direction for San Diego, and you could even say for Pittsburgh. With Baltimore losing at the moment here, and the Dolphins trailing the Jets at halftime. Here are the first half possessions for the Ravens. Field goal coming off the interceptions, and then very little to account for after that. 1 first down, their last 4 drives. And their wide receivers today, 3 catches for 14 yards. It's Rice right into the line and maybe able to get a yard out of it. Here are the first half numbers for the quarterbacks. Flacco was sacked once, but he was knocked down a bunch of times. Dalton 2-2. 2 touchdowns after the 2 early picks. Second and 9. And that's incomplete. Looking for Jacoby Jones. with Adam Jones on the coverage.
Yeah, Pac-Man Jones, that's his nickname now. Adam Jones, he has really played well, I think, here in the last few weeks. Teams like to throw to his side, and he's coming up 3 interceptions. What he couldn't do before, he does now. Find the football when it's in the air. He's been doing that very well.
Total yards after the 2 Raven field goals, 189 to 34 since that early action. 3rd and 9, and Flacco is sacked for the 2nd time today. Crocker, you saw him just ready to pounce on the blitz, and he got to him.
3 linebackers inside. Who's going to blitz? They don't know. Here comes this, and then that frees up Chris Crocker from the outside. So it really caught the Ravens in a tough situation. You got the crowd noise. You can't make the adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Awesome call by Mike Zimmer.
Hook. And a beautiful punt. The Tate returns 7 yards. Levine on the tackle after a 55-yard boot. And the Bengals have made life miserable this afternoon for Flacco. We mentioned the numbers just before that 3rd down snap, which resulted in a 9-yard sack. 24 yards of offense since Tucker's 2nd field goal. First snap of the 2nd half for the Bengals, and Dalton just rolling out of the pocket, throwing it into the ground in the direction of Orson Charles. How about the rebound by Dalton after a couple of poor throws at the start to come back and throw a couple of touchdowns and lead this offense?
Well, we heard Boomer Esiason talk about it at half. You got to be resilient. You're going to make mistakes in this league, Jim, and at least they're trying to be aggressive when they make those mistakes. But Andy Dalton said it to us best opening game of the year. I'm going to go out there, play well, and shut up everybody who doubts my talent.
Over the head of A.J. Green with Smith on the coverage.
So I think that even that statement he made to us before the season says a lot about him, that he's determined. He's not worried about all the naysayers, because we know in this league, even though he's a young quarterback, you got to win a Super Bowl before we validate their career. It's incredible the way it is. That's just the truth. But he's had another solid year, and he keeps getting better in his 3rd year. And this offense, it's about the quarterback distributing the football.
It's a 3rd and 10 for Dalton. Wide open. Hopkins to the 45 of the Ravens. Gain of 14.
One thing I've really noticed that's a difference in him between the previous 2 years is when the pressure and the pocket